Hi y'all, welcome back to Cammie's Kitchen. The holidays are coming up and nothing says Thanksgiving like a whole roasted turkey. We will start by preheating our oven and prepping our turkey, cleaning it out, patting it dry, and getting that skin ready. Then we'll mix up a rich, flavorful butter to tuck underneath the skin for maximum flavor. Next, we will prep our veggies to stuff inside the cavity, season everything beautifully, and seal it all up in a roasting bag and bake to perfection. Once it's done, we will let it rest while we turn these incredible pan juices into a silky, savory homemade gravy. Then it's time to slice, pour, and enjoy the best turkey ever. Because our turkey is going to take no time to prep, we are going to start by preheating our oven to 325 degrees. If you are using a store-bought turkey like I am, the first thing you want to do is remove everything from the inside of the cavity. You can toss this or you can save it and use for another recipe, but today I'm just discarding everything. Next, gently slide your hand under the skin to separate it from the meat. This helps all that delicious butter we'll be adding later to soak right into the turkey as it bakes, keeping it juicy and flavorful. Now grab some paper towels and pat the turkey as dry as possible. The drier the skin, the better our oil and seasoning will stick instead of sliding off. So take your time and get it nice and dry. When you go to preheat your oven, make sure that you double check that it's set to roast and not to bake. There is a significant difference in how your turkey will be cooked between one and the other. Also, this turkey is pretty large. Depending on your size, you might have to adjust the racks in your oven, so make sure that you do that. I always have to take out all the racks in my oven except for the very bottom one, and that's the one that my turkey is gonna cook on. If you don't do this and you forget, it's gonna be really hard to take all those racks out when the oven's already hot, and you don't want your turkey to be too close to the top because it will affect the way that it's cooked. For my butter, I like to load it up with fresh herbs because it really gives this turkey so much depth and flavor that you can't get otherwise. Today I'm using parsley, rosemary, thyme, but feel free to use whatever herbs you have. Just chop them up nice and small and add them straight into your melted butter. Next, I'm going to add at least a tablespoon of fresh garlic and then a little splash of my favorite Goya naranja marinade. I love the citrusy kick that it gives to the herb butter. Don't be afraid to experiment with marinades or seasonings that you already use at home. Finally, it is time for our dry seasoning. I am using my Chupacabra specialty blend seasoning, but feel free to use your preferred seasoning for poultry or turkey. Y'all, this butter is going to change the game when it comes to your turkey. The flavor and the texture that it's going to give to the inside of your turkey is unmatched. If you continue to stir it like I am doing and you notice that it's still super runny, that is absolutely fine. You can either add more seasoning or you can continue to stir it or leave it out in a cool environment. It is butter at the end of the day, so it is going to harden, and that is when we're gonna wanna use it. If for some reason you are low on time, then just pop this container in the fridge for about 5 minutes and it'll harden really quick. Another reason I absolutely love this recipe is because it's so easy to make it your own and there's no specific ingredients list that you need to follow. Just anything that you have in the fridge, that is what's gonna be your stuffing. Remember that unlike the stuffing you might use for a chicken, we are actually not going to eat this one. It's just going to give the inside of our turkey maximum flavor. I'm using a whole onion, 1 large carrot, a few celery sticks, and a whole lemon. Since these are going straight into the cavity and they'll be cooking for a long time, don't worry about chopping them super small. Just cut them into pieces that are easy to mix together. Once you have them sized down, put everything into a bowl along with your fresh herbs. This will be the aromatic mix that really infuses our turkey from the inside out. Do you guys see the size of this turkey? Holy cow! Like compared to my head, even this is huge. Also, I did put gloves on because I absolutely hate when this butter mixture gets all up in my nails. So totally optional. You can definitely just go crazy with your hands if it's easier for you. Now we are going to lift the skin of your turkey with one hand and slowly start to pop in spoonfuls of your seasoning into your skin. And then with your hand, just carefully take the seasoning off your spoon and then massage it into the skin. Now you're going to repeat this process until all of your seasoning is done. This butter is literally all for the inside of your bird. We are gonna do something completely different on the outside, so don't be afraid to use it all. Using a spoon is really helpful here because as you start putting spoonfuls of butter under the skin, the spoon will help lift the skin in the harder to reach areas that might be tricky with just your hand. I know this may seem like a lot, but especially if you have a larger turkey like mine, you want as much of that flavored butter and seasoning trapped under the skin as possible. This is what will soak into the meat as it roasts. Once all the butter is in, take handfuls of your stuffing and fill the cavity of your turkey until it's completely full. After that, you can either use some kitchen twine or the turkey's own skin like I'm doing and tie the legs together. This will keep your seasoning and your stuffing inside and will also give the turkey a beautiful professional presentation once it's done roasting. Finally, we want to make the outside of our turkey just as flavorful as the inside. Start by rubbing a generous amount of preferred cooking oil all over the skin. I'm using avocado oil. Next, season the turkey with your favorite poultry seasoning. I'm using my chupacabra blend. Make sure to coat the top and the sides evenly. Don't worry about the bottom just yet. We will be adding seasoning there right before we put the turkey into our oven bag. Now for my secret to the perfect, juiciest turkey every single time. Turkey oven bags. Y'all, I was skeptical about these and I started using them 3 years ago, and I have never made a turkey without them because they do so much for your turkey. And you don't have to get this brand. I'm gonna link these in the description below. These are $8.99 on Amazon, and I've had this for like 3 years because it comes with 12. Who makes this many turkeys? These are amazing though, because what they do is they trap all of the steam from your turkey and all of the veggies, all of your stuffing while it's roasting, and everything just gets locked in there. So you get the juiciest, most flavorful turkey you can. I think that it will fit. It's just gonna be a little tight.
Go from the bottom.
Baby, it's just turkey juices. Okay. Oh. Yay! Thank you. I was supposed to remind you guys to put seasoning inside of the bag before you put your turkey in. That way the bottom of your turkey will be seasoned as well. If you forgot like I did, absolutely no problem. The good thing about cooking our turkey in these bags is that all of the juices that are gonna be released from the stuffing and the turkey are gonna sit on the bottom of this bag, thus allowing the skin and the meat to absorb the seasoning that way. So not a big deal. Now all you have to do is use some kitchen twine or whatever you have in your kitchen, tie up your bag really tight, make sure the steam does not come out, and we are going to stick our turkeys in our oven for 3.5 to 4 hours. The time is going to be completely dependent on the size of your turkey. And usually when you buy your turkey, make sure you either take a picture or you save the wrapper that your turkey comes packed in, because that gives you the exact time that that size turkey needs to be in the oven for. Y'all, look at this. I'm so excited. I cannot believe that it looks like this after only 3.5 hours. I know that seems like a really long time, but for this kind of roast for this size turkey, I just expected this to take so much longer. Of course, the longer that you leave it in your oven roasting, the more tender and juicier it's gonna become. So feel free, if you have the time, to just leave it in there all day. Once your turkey is out of the oven, grab a pair of scissors and carefully start cutting the plastic from the top. You'll want to cut the bag instead of trying to open and lifting the turkey out where it's tied, because it's so tender at this point, it can easily start falling apart. Cut away most of the plastic until the turkey is fully exposed but still sitting in your pan. Then let it rest here for at least 30 minutes before cutting into it. This resting helps all those juices soak back into the meat, keeping it perfectly moist and flavorful. Y'all, I honestly don't think it can be any better than this. I can't stop looking at it. It is beautiful. The crispy skin we talked about, all those veggies, the smell is incredible. Okay, there is a reason though why we cut the plastic so soon. It's because we need all of these delicious juices that were stuck on the bottom of that bag to make our gravy. And by the way, if you don't like gravy or you're not wanting to make this, that's absolutely fine. Still, you can save this turkey broth, because this is incredible for soups, for stuffing, for literally anything. All you have to do is wait for your turkey to be slightly cooled, take it off of the pan, still on the rack, and then just put all of this delicious broth into preferably a glass container. To get our gravy started, heat your flat top or stovetop to medium-high heat and place a small saucepan on it. Add 1 whole stick of unsalted butter and let it melt completely. Once melted, whisk in about 8 tablespoons of flour. You can also use cornstarch if you prefer, but I like using flour for the classic texture and flavor. Next, slowly pour in your turkey drippings. I'm using about 2.5 cups. This gives me the traditional rich gravy that's thick but still silky. If you prefer yours a little thinner, just add a little more of your drippings or a splash of hot water until you reach your desired consistency. This turkey actually gave me the perfect amount of broth for my gravy and a little bit left over for my soup this week. I absolutely love using this leftover broth as a base for any soup. The flavor that you get in there is incredible. I cannot wait to try this, y'all. I actually didn't like turkey until like 5 years ago when I actually tried to make it myself and realized that it can actually be super tender. Y'all, this breast meat just literally came completely off. Look at that. This is going to make slicing very easy. I thought this was going to be a lot more complicated. Oh my goodness gracious. I think this is probably the most tender. I don't even need this knife. Oh my gosh, look. I just pulled that off with my hand. I have the most incredible childhood memories of going to Disney World because I grew up in Florida and buying a big fat turkey leg. Oh my gosh. So turkey legs are my favorite part of this. Oh my gosh, look at this. It literally just falls off the bone. I can't, there are no words. Literally, if you were hesitant in if this bag thing that she's talking about works, y'all, it works. That is the perfect bite with that gravy, that delicious tender meat of that turkey. Unbelievable. If y'all plan to try this for your Thanksgiving meal, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to see how you like it or how you think it's gonna go, because I am telling you it is going to be a hit for your family and friends. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate y'all, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.